Hey everybody, welcome to this week's message for kids and youth from Atkinson Congregational Church. We are the light on the hill where no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome. I'm really glad that you clicked in to hear this message today. My name is Pastor Jim Thomas. I'm the pastor here at the church. And this week I'm thinking about, maybe you know what I'm going to talk about here. Have you ever played a game like where you do something that everybody else is doing, like maybe follow the leader? One person leads, and then everybody else follows and does the same thing. I played that game. There was another game when I was a kid I used to play. It was called Simon Says. Do you know what Simon Says is? One person says, Simon says, touch your nose, and everybody touches your nose. And then one time he doesn't say Simon Says, and if you do it, you're out. And pretty soon it gets down to just a couple of people and somebody wins by remembering when to do what everybody else does and when not to. It's okay when we're playing games if we do what everybody else does, but in the rest of the time in life, that doesn't always work. We can't do stuff just because everybody else does it. That doesn't make it right or the best thing for us. When I was a kid and I would tell my mother that I was going to go do something with the other kids and we're going to go over to the lake and go swimming or something, and she'd go, you're not going over to that lake unless, some adults go with you. You can't go over there by yourself with just other kids. I'm like, but Mom, all the other kids are doing it. And she would say, yeah, and if all the other kids jumped off a bridge, would you do that too? That was Mom's way of telling me that. Just because other people do stuff doesn't mean it's the right thing for us. Jesus was doing that sort of stuff all the time. He was never doing what everybody else did, and he was always at odds with the people who liked things done in a certain way. Jesus was a teacher, a rabbi, but he didn't, except for a couple of times, ever preach in the temple, in the church. Jesus preached on hillsides and alongside of rivers and by the lake shore and in people's houses. He shared messages all over, but he almost never did it where all the other teachers and rabbis did it, because he wasn't a follow the leader kind of guy. Jesus was trying to show us a new thing, a new way. And there was lots of other ways too. The teachers and rabbis of his time, they had a lot of rules. There was over 600 rules that you were supposed to follow to be part of the community of faith, part of the church family. And Jesus, when they asked him, hey, which of our rules are most important? Jesus said, well, there's just two. And they went, two? There's 613. And Jesus said, no, there's two. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and your soul and your mind, and then love your neighbor as yourself. That's the only two rules that really matter. All the rest of them just feed back into those two, so you just really have to follow those two. Well, that was a scandal because, again, Jesus was just not doing what everybody else was doing. And so Jesus is a really good role model for us in terms of not doing stuff just because other people do it, because that isn't always the best thing for us. Lesson this week from Go Plus, you're going to hear about somebody else who didn't go along and get along just because everybody else was doing something. His name was Daniel. And Daniel gets in trouble because he refuses to bow down and worship this guy who's in charge, and what he wants everybody else to do. He's a big bully and he threatens people, and Daniel holds fast and refuses to do what everybody else is doing because he knows it's not right. And God takes care of Daniel for being willing to stand up for what's right. God will do that for us too. And Jesus is a great example for us. As we go through life, we don't do stuff just because other people do it. We don't follow other people down bad ways just because they're going and we just go along with them. We have to think for ourselves, and we have to chart our own course, and we have to make our own paths, and we have to live our own life. And we get to decide, and we get to choose. And that's the good news for this week. So kids, I'm really glad that you were able to find me and click and watch this week's message. I invite you to go by our website, atkinsoncc.org. Click on the link at the top of the page, Virtual Church School. It'll take you to this week's lesson from the folks at Go Plus who we partner with. And this week you're going to hear about the story about Daniel that I just mentioned. And please, if you would, go by our YouTube channel page. You can get there by clicking on the corner of this video, and make sure that you like this video and you subscribe, because when you like and you subscribe, the magic at YouTube makes sure that more people see it, and the more people that see it, the more people can hear about these messages. So, have a great week, and chart your own course. Don't go in a direction just because other people go in that direction. Do what's right for you. And if you do, things will be better. And God will be right beside you. God bless you. Have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.